What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDoWorkHereLady. This story's called, Yes Sir, I'm Working in Your Yard. You have an appointment? I'm a service technician for the gas company. I'm also the only female service technician for the gas company. This leads to confusion on a daily basis. So I arrived to a 9 to 12 appointment the other day at 9:05 a.m. Super simple job: exchange gas meter, inspect gas equipment in the house, relight equipment, then be on my way to my next call. We get 30 minutes of allotted time for each job like this, but dispatch understands that this doesn't always work. Sometimes it takes 15 minutes if the old meter was installed well and the gas equipment is all new, but sometimes it takes 3 hours if I have to rebuild their whole service and coax an old boiler back to life. I grab my tools out of the truck, grab a new meter, and head to the front door. The call says hazard dog, so I figure it's best to check in with the customer before I head into the yard. I knock and ring the doorbell, no answer. So I pull the customer's number off of the call and give him a ring. Good morning, this is OP from the gas company. You have a meter exchange appointment booked for this morning. Is anyone home?
Not at the moment. Is the tech there already?
Yes, sir. I'm here at address. Will you be home soon?
Yes, tell the tech to wait. I'll be home in about 15 minutes.
Okay, I'll wait for you. Can I start working in the yard or is your dog outside? But the customer just hangs up. So I decide to wait. Anyway, it's negative 28 degrees Celsius, negative 40 with the wind chill. I'm bundled up, but I'm going to be outside all day, so I decide to wait in the truck to preserve my warmth. I drop my tools and the new meter off at the gate to the yard and sit in my truck until the customer pulls into the driveway. When the customer arrives, I immediately sit my truck off and jog over to the house.
So I spoke with someone in the office and they said the tech was already here. Where is he? I have to get back to work soon. I can't wait here all morning.
I am the tech, sir, and that was me that you spoke with. If you're all good, I'll get that meter changed out for you, then get your furnace and water heater going.
Well, if you say so. But if that's the case, where are your tools?
Over by the gate. I left them there so they'd be ready to go when you got here.
Okay. Say, how long have you been doing this?
This specifically? A little over a year. Working in the industry? Almost 9 years.
Okay, go ahead. You don't have anyone coming to help you.
No, sir. This is a very simple job. I should be able to have it done in 15 to 20 minutes or so. And the call said you have a dangerous dog. Is it contained?
He's a 12-year-old beagle. You're fine. I don't know why anyone thought he was dangerous.
So, I could have started almost 3/4 of an hour ago at this point, and my next 2 calls were in jeopardy because of how long I'd been here at this point. So I get to work, and sure enough, his meter set is in pretty rough shape. I pull the meter off with some difficulty and my largest wrenches, and then start cranking some of the bad fittings out so I can rebuild part of the set to make this job easier the next time we have to change the meter, and generally safer. He was leaning over my shoulder the whole time, continually asking if I was sure I know what I'm doing, if I really don't need to call for help. I got my fitting done and went inside. Sure enough, the gas equipment was all high efficiency, so all it took was a couple of resets to clear out the air bubbles and it all fired up perfectly. The call took about an hour once I actually had my tools on, which is a little longer than anticipated, but a very good time frame for the work I wound up having to do to leave the place in a safe condition. A very good time frame, mind you, for any tech who could have had the call. As I was gathering my things to go, he got one last jab in.
You know, I would really appreciate if they would actually send a real tech next time. I don't feel comfortable having one of the office girls doing this kind of work for me. I'm gonna have a word with the gas company and tell them as much.
Sir, for the last time, I am a qualified service technician. The next customer was a very sweet old lady who met me at the door and immediately presented me with muffins.
They told me you were coming even though it should be illegal to work at this temperature. I made muffins. Take them, you deserve it. They really shouldn't be making you work in this.
Aw, that's so sweet. That's very nice. I'm glad that they included that, because people are annoying. Alright, this story's called, Yes, I Am in Charge, or I Am in Charge, I don't know. Long-time reader, first-time poster, teal deer on the bottom. This is my first-time posting, and it's about an incident that happened when I had turned 27 to 28 and was part of an electrician apprenticeship program through my local of the IDoW, which is the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and was entering my 5th year of the 5-year program, basically making me the equivalent of a high school senior. In July of that year, I was working with one of the largest electrical contractors in my city, and was assigned to work at one of their contracts for one of the local largest oil refineries at one of the multiple plants they had in the area. In July, the apprenticeship started sending out what were unindentured apprentices who had not yet started classes but were working to see if they would qualify for the program, and we had a lot of new faces arriving daily. Since I was a senior apprentice, I was placed in charge of the apprentices that were part of the wire pull crew that did multiple 1,000 plus foot wire pulls daily to help complete the new process unit we had been assigned to do the electrical construction on. As we made our way up the many platforms and ladders, at least 40 feet into the pipe rack and into the cable tray that supported the cables and wires, I would pass out position assignments based on skill levels. After 2 pulls, we got down to take our morning break. I noticed a new face amongst the crowd hanging around our little break area where we had our toolboxes, gang boxes, and lunch boxes. I saw one guy sitting on top of my lunchbox in square ice chest. I approached him and said, "Hey buddy, I guess you didn't notice the name written all over the lunchbox you're sitting on? Who gave you permission to sit on my lunchbox?" The new guy stood up and looked at me, being a few inches shorter than me but also looking to be in his mid-40s. "You can't tell me where to sit and not sit. Who put you in charge?" At that moment, the younger guy he was talking to stepped between us and led him away. After the union-mandated 15-minute break, my crew and I were gathered around the wire pull foreman's little blueprint shack to get ready for the next 5 pulls they had planned. At that time, a few of the new faces show up, led by the union steward, who introduced them to the foreman as we broke up to go to our assigned locations. As usual, I was at the front of the pool, lifting the wire up from the ground level. Over the walkie-talkie radio, I heard a lot of chatter and felt the wire being jerked from behind me despite having a seasoned crew working. Multiple calls on the walkie-talkie demanding whoever is pulling and jerking the wire to get in rhythm and not pull so forcefully, since we were at the moment pulling data wire that had fiber optics inside which could be damaged. After the pull and tie down of the wire, I rushed down my platform to the ground after my foreman called us down on the radios. At this point, I am livid and seeing red. I finally get to the bottom with my pool partner next to me trying to calm me down. I stop when I see my foreman yelling at the same guy who sat on my lunchbox. "Are you some kind of idiot? We might have had to do the entire pool all over again because of you and your pulling of the wire, despite Nasty telling you over the radio to stop jerking the wire and stay in the pull count of 1, 2, 3, pull!" The guy looks down at our barely 5'4" foreman and looks like he is going to punch him. I proceeded to run up and stand at my full 5'11" height between him and my foreman when the butthole opens his mouth. "Get the hell out of my way. It's between me and him. Who the hell are you anyway to act like some big shot?" I calmly stood there and my foreman, as cool as a cucumber, goes, "He's actually your boss, the one in charge of the wire pull, and you just broke his perfect pull record of 400 pulls and no issues." "My boss? He can't be. He's just some kid probably barely 21, and he is telling me what to do?" "Yeah, that's right. I'm your boss, old man, because I'm a 28-year-old 5th-year apprentice and you're over 40 barely entering the program. I'm also your senior in the union rolls. That's why I make the max $25 an hour to your $12 an hour, because I have more time on my electrical license than you do." He stood there with the realization that he was up the creek without a paddle, because he thought since he was older that he would be placed in charge of things. The union steward showed up and stood before him between the two of us, then turned to me and asked, "Nasty, what's going on here?" The look of realization on the new guy's face got got even wider, and he actually got pale when he realized the name on the lunchbox, over the radio, and the one the foreman mentioned were all me. As I explained the situation and how the new guy had basically ruined a $100 per foot, 1,000-foot wire pull, the new guy turned even paler when he did the mental math, and I mentioned the $100,000 cost of that ruined pool. The union steward looks at him, then at me, then at him, and asks me directly,
Well, Nasty, you are in charge of this crew when in the air, so what do you want to do with him? Move him to another crew? A different plant? Fire him since he's not officially in the program yet?
The new guy almost looks like he wants to faint as he looks in my angry eyes, silently pleading to not fire him. Start the termination proceedings if Chaps, Chaparro or Shorty, the nickname we had for foreman, agrees with me since he is a financial and safety liability, since it's obvious he can't control his anger, let alone listen to instruction. My foreman looks at the steward with a gleam of joy in his eye.
I want him gone, not from the refinery, but the company and the local.
Yahtzee, swift justice, and wow, the stakes are high in the construction game. This story's called, Actually, I'm the Owner? Okay, so backstory. 1, I'm young, like I just turned 18 young, and me and my mother own this business where we breed and sell snakes, and the snakes' necessities along with food. I'm the actual founder while my mom is the co-founder. Story. I was tending the store since only me and my mom work there, and it was a slow day for us, so I was checking on all the animals, feeding the ones that needed to be fed, and so on. This one person, we'll call them entitled parent, I'm me. Entitled parent comes in and just is looking at all the animals, and I thought nothing of it till about 5 or so minutes go by when they walk up to the counter and entitled parent, I'm assuming, snaps at me to get my attention. I look up, slightly offended by how entitled parent decided to grab my attention. Yes, may I help you?
Yes, I was wondering how much this one,
While pointing at a tank.
is.
I'm not for sure. Let me check for you, I say while walking to the tank. Well, it says here it's only $60.
$60? Just a couple of days ago, I saw this exact one for only $30.
No, I'm sorry. That one was sold already and we changed it out.
You can't just change the price because it's a different one. It's still the same breed and everything.
Well, yes. While it is the same breed, it is much bigger than the other one, as the other one was younger than this one. It cost us more to maintain this particular one than the last.
Well, I don't have that much. Can you give me a discount?
I'm sorry, but I cannot do that for you.
Please, I only have 50 on me.
Well, I can't give you a discount, but we have some that are smaller than this and are cheaper. They're in the back if you want me to bring one out.
No, I don't want another one. I want this one.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't lower the price for this one. Like I said a few seconds ago, we have more in the back if you want this particular breed.
I don't want a freaking different one. I would like this one.
Please watch your language. There's a kid nearby.
I don't care. I want to buy this freaking animal.
I'm sorry. I cannot help you.
Let me speak to the manager.
Well, I am the manager.
Fine. I'm gonna call the owner.
Actually, I am the owner also.
Don't lie to me. You're not even old enough to own a car, nonetheless a store.
Yes, I am old enough, and I'm the owner while my mom is the co-owner.
Quit freaking lying to me, woman. I want to speak to the actual freaking owner, not some smart-ass teen.
Please watch what you say, or I will have to ask you to leave.
You can't kick me out. I know the real owner, and he lets me get a discount if I don't have enough all the time.
Well, that's good for you. Now, if you're not gonna buy this one, and only cause a disturbance in my store, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
No, I'm not gonna leave. You are gonna give me a discount, and that is that.
Now I'm mad because one entitled parent is yelling and cussing at me when I can't change the price and making a scene over this and just straight up ignoring me.
So sell it to me now, or I will call the owner and he will sell it to me.
She then walks over to the counter where there are cards with my name and number. Entitled parent then dials the number and then answers the phone. At first, I was confused because it states on the card that I'm the owner, but then I remembered it had my mom's number also on the card, and entitled parent actually called hers instead. Luckily, my mom told entitled parent to step off, pretty much, and entitled parent then tried to call the other number instead. While entitled parent was dialing my number, entitled parent had this poo-eating grin on while looking me dead in the eyes. I will never forget the look on entitled parent's face when I answered the phone. Hello, this is name of the shop, my name. Speaking, how may I help you? Entitled parent then hung up and left the store immediately. What I will never understand is why entitled parent got so upset about that animal. See, what it's about is not the animal. It's about her not getting what she wants when she wants it, because that is why she's entitled. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.